Sometimes anxious attachment styles come from your childhood, but oftentimes they also come from a toxic relationship that had you questioning your worth. If anyone has ever told you that you're clingy, needy, you're codependent, your self esteem is low, that you rely on others to make you feel good, you're a people pleaser, that's a huge one, then you might have an anxious attachment style. If you're checking phones, looking through their content, and playing private eye investigator because you don't trust anybody, you could have an anxious attachment style. But first, ask yourself this: is it really my relationship, or really do I have an anxious attachment style? And the answer is it could be both. So, if yours, however, comes from childhood, okay, what that looks like is you had an inconsistent parent or a primary child giver. They were inconsistent in their care, love, and support towards you. So, it made you like operate on pins and needles. So, when they showed you the love and support that you needed, it made you very happy. And so that when it pulled back, you kind of were worried. Well, if they were inconsistent a lot, cause you to be more anxious in nature as well as clingy, needy. So I've studied attachment theories as well as I coach clients on how to go from whether it's avoidant or anxious to secure. Now, I myself had an avoidant attachment style for many years, and I am back to being secure. I grew up secure, but again, a toxic relationship, the wrong relationship can 100% change your attachment style from secure to anxious or secure to avoidant, like in my case. If you're interested in catching that video about how I healed from being an avoidant to secure, by all means, please check out the link right here. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I am Vee Mindful. I'm a relationship coach, and here we talk about everything related to relationships. But the best relationship you could possibly ever have in your life is the relationship that you have with yourself. So that's why we talk about healing your attachment style, learning how to communicate, learning how to date, learning how to show up to be the best version of yourself, so that many of us, like many of us, have the goal of attracting and being in a long standing, healthy, committed relationship. So, in order for us to attract that, we have to become that. And no matter how many clients I work with, one thing that they always say that they want a partner, a healthy partner, and a healthy relationship for someone to travel with. I still believe that is the best way to learn about who you're dating is taking a trip. So, can you heal your attachment style? Absolutely. Just like you can go from secure to anxious and anxious to secure, you can definitely heal whatever attachment style that you have. But first and foremost, you have to recognize it. So, in the video where I talked about healing my avoidant attachment style, let me tell you, for years, I did not even know I had one. I did not know that, oh, wait a minute, something might be off right here in my behaviors. Your attachment style is not you, and you are not your attachment style. Your attachment style is your behavior. You have a whole set of beliefs, a whole personality, a whole heart that has nothing to do with your attachment style. But if you don't fix these behaviors will continue to push any and everybody away because people are not wanting to deal with your behaviors, not because they don't want to deal with you. So I want to make sure we're clear that we have to separate you from the behaviors. You are not your attachment style, okay? That does not make you who you are. Now, how can you tell if it's your relationship or your attachment style that's triggering you, causing you to appear very clingy? One, if your partner is inconsistent in their communication with you, this is going to trigger anybody, not just somebody with an anxious attachment style or an avoidant attachment style. Inconsistent communication with you is a no no. If they are texting you 3 times in one day and then you don't hear from them for like 3 or 4 days, this is inconsistent communication. This is going to cause anybody to have their spidey senses go up. Two, if they are inconsistent in their behavior or treatment towards you, this is also going to trigger anybody. If they are treating you with love one day and then next week they treat you with despise, that's going to make you feel a certain type of way. The difference between somebody who has a secure attachment style and somebody who has an anxious attachment style in a scenario when their partner is very inconsistent is a secure attachment person has no issues communicating, hey, I ain't feeling this inconsistency. It's not something that I'm going to be tolerating. So if this is your nature, I'm going to bounce. It's not for me. That's what secure attached people, they are easily able to communicate their boundaries and their standards. Somebody who has an anxious attachment style and they're dealing with somebody who has poor communication, inconsistent communication and behavior, they're going to start questioning their worth. And it's going to make them feel very, to not overuse the word, but it's going to make them feel very anxious. But ultimately, it's going to cause them believing that it's their fault that their partner is inconsistent, that is their fault that they're receiving this sporadic communication. That is the difference in responses between somebody who's secure versus somebody who has an anxious attachment style. Many times when I work with clients and they have an anxious attachment style, the hardest thing that I see that they are able to do is to set boundaries and stand to them. It's like they don't want to communicate the boundaries or standards because they don't want to rock the boat. They want to keep their partner happy, even keel. So they kind of go with the flow. And that's like one of the worst things you could possibly do. At the end of the day, voicing your boundaries and your standards is ultimately only going to push the wrong person away. And that's what we want. That's why we have boundaries and standards. That's why we have to communicate them, because there are some people that are not going to level up to what you require in a relationship. But people with anxious attachment styles, they view that as, I'm going to push this person away and I don't want to do that. So I want them to stay in my corner. So therefore, I'm just going to do what they want me to do so that I don't rock the boat. So, how can we combat that? First and foremost, we have to learn how to communicate our boundaries, period. In order to do so, you're going to have to identify them. What are your boundaries and your standards? Your standards are things like, you know what? I work out 5 days a week. I go to the gym all the time. I eat healthy. I love taking care of myself. That is a standard I have developed for and created for myself because that's the way I live. I don't eat McDonald's every day. I do this, I do that because I care about my physical well being and my health. If you meet a man or a woman and they don't match those standards, I'm not saying they have to go to the gym the exact amount of times that you go. They don't have to go to the same gym and eat the same foods, but they too care about themselves, their health, their well being. Then they too have established a standard for themselves. They will meet your standard because they are taking care of themselves while you are taking care of yours. You have, by your own habits, identified a standard for you. Now, a lot of times our boundaries don't come about until we're in a situation. For example, you meet somebody and he plays video games all the time, right? You think it's good. Oh, he's always home. He's not in the streets because he's playing video games. You start dating him and then you realize that, my gosh, he plays video games 20 hours a day. This man ain't taking me on no dates. He's not having sex with me, nothing. He's always on the video games. So now you have a new boundary, because if this isn't the type of lifestyle that you want to live, where your man or your woman is constantly playing these video games while you are in need of attention and affection, you now have a new boundary. And your boundary is, look, I require dates. I require us to sleep in the bed. I require you to spend some time with me. I require you to communicate with me. These are your boundaries. And now you didn't have those boundaries before you started dating somebody who played video games. So now you have a new one. You have to define your boundaries. But here's the thing that people with anxious attachment styles, they have a hard time doing. They have a hard time communicating those. Those boundaries will stay inside their heads. They don't want to communicate it, again because they don't want to rock the boat. But here's the thing, if you don't communicate it, that internal strife that you're feeling, that stress, which will build up to resentment, is only going to eat inside of you. While they're still living the life that they want to live, they're doing the things that are pissing you off unintentionally because you never expressed your boundary. So they're not even knowing that they're pissing you off more and more and more and more, to where you're growing more and more and more resentful, to where that stress is now again eating the inside of you. So we have to learn how to communicate our boundaries. So how do we do that? Step one is define them. Okay, define them. And I want you to read them out loud. This is an overlooked step. Look, write your boundaries down and I want you to read them out loud. Why do I want you to read your boundaries out loud? Because sometimes people with an anxious attachment style, because they have no trust in their partner, in humanity, in relationships, sometimes their boundaries go too far. Yes. Sometimes their boundaries can appear like, I want you to be on FaceTime with me 20 hours a day. Well, I want you to be on FaceTime with me while you're working. I need to know that you are not doing something with somebody else. See how that could go left really quickly. In order to prevent that, the best thing I can tell somebody with an anxious attachment style as they are defining their boundaries, y'all write them down and read them out loud. But most importantly, it is so important for you to have relationships with people who have secure attachments. That doesn't mean a partner, that can mean a best friend, somebody at work, somebody who knows how to set boundaries and knows how to communicate them. Pay attention to how they set their boundaries. That's a big thing. How do they communicate them? Because a lot of these things about us going from anxious to secure is literally learning how a secure person operates. Learn what a secure attached person does. Now, once you identify your boundaries, and this is something, this could be a running, again, this is a running list. A lot of them come up from people whom we date or deal with. There's a lot of boundaries you had no idea were going to be boundaries. Like, how was I supposed to know that I ain't like somebody who skips when they walk? Like, until I dated somebody who skips. Like, there's some things you're just not going to know until a boundary in life happens. But it's important for you to note it and say, you know what? That might be a little bit too much for me to deal with. Right. So now, do you voice your boundaries? Absolutely. If you have trouble voicing your boundaries, and start small. When somebody asks you, what do you want to eat? Don't say whatever you want to eat. No, what do you want to eat? Start learning how to use your voice. And it can start with small, literally the smallest thing. We get asked all the time, what do you want to eat? Start having an answer. The goal is to stop people pleasing. The goal is to find out who you really are and start voicing your opinions. You can't stay on the line of always doing what other people want you to do, because you only get one life. And if you're spending it appeasing everybody else, you're going to look back at the end of this journey and be like, dang, who am I and what did I like to do? We cannot go around this one life that we have been given appeasing the world, because one, it's already impossible to please everybody. You cannot please everybody, but the one person you can please is yourself. Right? You know what you like and what you don't like. You have to look at it as, look, time is going to pass by whether I like it or not. I might as well live the life that the universe and God has given me that I want to live. Stop looking at it like I just want to keep going with the flow. I don't want to rock the boat. Oh, they're going to be mad at me. So what? So what? Look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you get mad at yourself? Are you mad that you're not voicing your opinion? Don't you get upset with yourself and you say, you know what? I should have spoke up for myself. Also, you have to learn how to be alone. I see this a lot. People don't want to sit in their feelings. They just either want to go backwards or forward instead of sitting where they are in the present. We have to learn how to be alone, because when we're doing things because we fear being alone, we start accepting behaviors and partners that we typically would not want to date or accept. We start accepting behaviors just to prevent ourselves from being and feeling alone. So you have to learn how to be alone. And I'm not saying learn how to be lonely. No, learn how to be in solitude. We have to figure out what you like to do and who are you. This is the biggest thing that I could tell people with with having an anxious attachment style. You've got to, one, learn how to be single. Be single, be by your damn self. This is a huge thing for you to accomplish. And then learn, what do you like to do? Where do you like to go? What is your favorite vacation spot? These are things that you are 100% going to have to figure out on your own. Not, and nobody's going to be able to tell you what you like to do, where you like to go, your hobbies, the music that you like. We can't keep going with the flow, because I'm sitting here to tell you now, okay? Life is going to pass you by. So the best person you can get to know today, tomorrow, and forever is yourself. Get a journal, okay? Get a journal. You can get my journal. Ladies, leave your dick at home. This journal will help you find and attract a partner of your own. But first, it's going to help you figure out who you are. And if you need a journal about healing from a breakup, divorce, heartbreak, then I have another book. This is a book that tells you exactly the blueprint about how to heal from a breakup, heartbreak, right? Because at the end of the day, y'all, we trying to live a fulfilled, healthy, happy life in 2024. This book is also going to help you learn how to be alone. Because here's the thing with anxious attachment styles, right? You guys are codependent. So if somebody else is happy, you're happy. Somebody else is sad or mad, you're mad. If somebody else withdraws their love, you feel anxious, you feel needy, you feel lonely. We have to break that cycle. You have to get out of being dependent upon other people for your emotions. You have to learn how to self regulate your own emotions. Your emotions cannot be tied to somebody else's emotions. We have to learn how to put our energy into ourselves, can't put our energy into everybody else. Learn how to date. A lot of times, women, especially women, we were taught how to be chosen, right? Oh, he likes me. I'm going to wait for him to ask me to marry him. I'm just going to wait and wait and wait. And then, oh my gosh, he asked me to marry him. And now I'm happy. That's not dating. The thing is, we were never taught how to date. This is an opportunity for you to get to know people, date multiple people. And I don't mean sleep with multiple people. Please hear this point clearly. I'm not saying, girl, go out here and spread your coochie all around town. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is, if somebody asks you out on a date, hey, and they seem to be a decent person, go. Okay, a date is not a commitment. A date is not a relationship. A date is not being exclusive. But I see this time and time and time again. It's like, well, we don't want to go out on multiple dates with people because we fear that, hey, we're going to be loose. Well, unless you're going out here sprinkling your coochie all around town, then how you going to be loose because you're going out and enjoying the company of somebody else? You're not loose. You're dating. And if you don't feel like doing that, even though I highly recommend it, then take yourself out on dates. Yep. Take yourself, go out to restaurants, take your journal, take one of my journals, take this book, but go out here and learn how to take yourself on a date. Figure out what you like so that when you do start dating, you can actually answer the question on what do you like to do? Well, now you know what to do. When you have an anxious attachment style, the best thing you can do is get to know yourself. Pour that energy into yourself. Don't wait for someone else to pour that energy into you. You are by far greater than that. Again, you have one life to live. Your life that you have been given cannot be tied to somebody else's strings. You're not a puppet. Next piece of advice, which is also a big one, y'all work on your self confidence. Look in the mirror. And I mean, look in the mirror. What do you like? What don't you like? What can you fix? That's simple. I'm not saying go out here and be in a whole body cast. I'm saying, do you like your hair? Do you like the color of your hair? Look, I'm almost 50 years old. Okay. I color my hair. Yes, I do. Okay. Because I get gray hair. And when I look in the mirror and I see all the gray hair, I'd be like, I don't like it. So I don't use chemicals in my hair, but I do use henna. I go to the gym. I eat healthy food. I do juicing. I take care of myself because I'm the one that has to live with myself. So if you don't like necessarily certain aspects about yourself, why not change them? Maybe you need to lose 15, 25 pounds. We all do. Right. Go to the gym. Start cutting back. If you don't like the clothes that you have in your closet, girl, God, go to the store and buy some new ones. Go to the Salvation Army, the Goodwill, get a new wardrobe. But if you don't like certain things about yourself, fix them. I am not saying please go get massive surgery, okay? But we have to learn to love the person we see in the mirror. If you are anxiously attached, I'm going to tell you right now, it's because you're living too far into the future. Yes, you are in the future instead of focusing on the now. Where are you right now? You're thinking, oh my gosh, what if he or she finds somebody else? What are they doing? I haven't heard from them in 2 hours or 3 hours or since yesterday. Oh, they must be with somebody else. Instead of focusing on what you can control, which is the moment right now, you are mentally somewhere else. Okay. And that is causing your anxious attachment style to really be triggered. It is a waste of energy to put your energy into things you cannot control. If you believe in the law of attraction at all, which I highly, highly do, and if you believe in manifesting, please know that the thoughts that you focus on will manifest. If you put some feelings behind it, oh my gosh, he must be with somebody else. I knew it. I knew it, and you constantly think those thoughts, you could be manifesting them. Very much so. Manifesting doesn't just work. Oh, I'm only going to manifest good things. Absolutely not. Manifesting is manifesting. The universe does not know if you're manifesting something good or bad. But if you keep focusing on the negative and you feel into it and it literally occupies your mind, body, and spirit, well, guess what you're going to get? The negative. So if you're so good at manifesting the bad, why can't we manifest the good? Hmm? Why can't we just turn our thoughts around and start believing a totally different story? That is why self confidence is key. It's huge. Believing in yourself, believing that you are something different, better, whatever. Believing that you can be, do, and have anything you want is key. We have to tell ourselves a different story. If you want better, if you want to attract better, then become better. And if you're not becoming better, then at least start by telling yourself better. Tell yourself the things that you want to believe, want to feel, want to hear. It all starts with you. That's why when I coach clients, I work with the individual, because if it doesn't start within, it ain't never going to start. You have to start telling yourself a different story. Look in the mirror and say, and I do this too, all men want me, all women want me. I'm the most beautiful person in this room. There is nobody else he can possibly see because I'm the only person in here. This is my universe and this is my world. Having great high self confidence is the best thing you can do for yourself. And that goes for any attachment style. You have to start providing your own self validation. Your self validation cannot come from somebody else. Somebody who is secure knows how to seek emotional support, not emotional validation. That's key because I see this often in my clients. They are seeking that emotional validation from their partners all the time. Well, how about you start validating yourself? Stop putting your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings in the hands of somebody else. You control them. You can change behaviors, but it all starts with the choice. You have to choose you. You can't keep choosing somebody else. You have to choose yourself every single day. Please understand nothing lasts forever, not even relationships. That is the pure fact. My parents have been married 51 years, and the mere fact is, look, unfortunately, one is going to go before the other. Okay. So nothing lasts forever. People have been married 75 years. Most times they do not go at the same time. So even that relationship ends. If you just start enjoying the moment and say, you know what, I'm going to give this a try because heck, what I've got to lose? I could have some great memories. I could have some great times with somebody. We cannot sit here and hope that every relationship that we're in is going to last forever because the reality is nothing lasts forever. And once you recognize that and realize that, maybe you can have a different mindset when you go out here and date and be like, you know what? I'm going out here to enjoy some moments with somebody. I'm going out here to get to know somebody, that my entire happiness isn't dependent upon their happiness. Let me go out here and meet people, make connections with new people, because that's what I want to do with my life. If you would like some help in learning how to become more securely attached, by all means, please, y'all, send me an email. My email address is in my profile. I'm here to help all of us learn how to have healthy relationships because at the end of the day, y'all, I want y'all too to share in what it's like to have a securely attached, healthy relationship, y'all. So we can go out here and catch these flights and feelings because it's 2024. Let's go out here and travel the world. Because I'm telling you right now, life is so much better when you share it with somebody. In order to get there, y'all, we have to heal our internal child, our internal wounds, so that we can share life with somebody. Until next time, y'all, remember, be the change you want to see. It's as simple as that. Y'all take care of yourself. Till next week.